Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and the last night and today I've been going through a lot of my old video and photos of my kids and just family stuff and all. And I'm telling you what, these kids grow up so fast. When I started this channel, I believe my oldest, let's see, he's 17 now. This was almost 5 years. I think it's almost 5 years ago. This kid was like in Little League, maybe. I think he was in Little League when I started this channel, and he's now a year away from going to college. Time flies. If you have babies out there, folks, enjoy your time because it goes by quick, and before you know it, they don't even want to hang out with you then. And you're just spending money. At least when they were babies, you were spending money on them, and they want to be around you. Now it's different. Okay. Let's start here. My new sponsor, XRPLHQ.com. That's XRPLHQ.com. He's trying to set up a central hub for everything XRP. So I'll make a habit of showing you the XRP price, which right now is at 47 cents, not doing a whole lot. He's actually creating this hub so that anybody building on the XRP ledger or beside it can promote. They can click there and promote. They can, and then he's got his XRP calculator, the rich list, and you can click and check out the markets, and I'm sure he'll be adding all kinds of things. The link to this will be in the top of the description. Here's Janet Yellen over in China, and people are asking her about the US dollar.
Goes to Andrea Schall from Reuters.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. The Russian government has announced that it will launch a BRICS currency in August, and I wonder if you had a chance to speak with the Chinese about that effort. You've spoken here and in other venues about not wanting to see any countries being forced to choose sides. This particular move would create...
And also, there is that issue about your boss who has apparently been receiving money from the CCP. Can you address that too at the same time?
Essentially a parallel currency to the U.S. as the world's reserve currency. Can you come up in your conversations? And we also talked about the head of the BOC. The Chinese government has not yet announced that he will be taking place. Is it your understanding that Pan will take over as central bank governor? Thank you.
So on the currency issue, I just want to reiterate what I've said in the past, which is I think the United States can rest assured that the dollar is going to play the dominant role in...
Now, if we had journalists, then they would raise their hand and they would say, but ma'am, we're over $30 trillion in debt. How do you plan on solving that little problem? Because these people are sick. Get your gold, folks. I'm just telling you, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm getting my gold. I'm not telling you to get your gold, but I'm getting my gold. And Glint, my sponsor, has a DAI V50 link where you can get 50% off vaulting and insurance fees for the next 12 months. It's only good for the next few days, July 14th. Check it out. And also on Glint, they're going to be tomorrow. Glint, I think tomorrow, Glint shares are going to be trading on the Link2 platform, my other sponsor, tomorrow, Glint shares. And Jason Cousins, who's the Glint CEO, is going to be interviewed on the 13th by Joe Endoso, who's the COO of Link2. So you're going to be able to get a good snapshot of what's going on with Glint. Sentiment, XRP Network, has seen an uptick in discussion in Monday's early hours. Generally, when traders are increasing discussions of an asset while its price has been declining, it increases the probability of a price rise to cancel out FUD and greedy shorts. That's interesting. So is this. Watcher Guru just in $820 billion, standard $820 billion Standard Chartered Bank predicts Bitcoin will reach $120,000 by the end of 2024. All right, now, speaking of Bitcoin, folks, we're all over it today. I just kind of happened into this topic today, but here we go. Ashley Prosper says, what we know about Bitcoin. We know it was licensed. The license is owned by MIT. Hashing algorithm created by that 3-letter agency right there. Code created by Anonymous, but not anonymous to Homeland Security because they've met with the 4 Satoshis. You've seen the video. 4, it's slow. 5, it's expensive. 6, scalability issues. 7, energy intensive. I don't trust MIT, neither do I. I don't trust Homeland Security, neither do I. I can't trust Satoshi, neither can I. I certainly don't trust that 3-letter agency, neither do I. For these reasons, Bitcoin has never been in my portfolio. I've owned it before. I've owned Bitcoin before, but I don't own it now. Then there's this. This is the Black Swan Capitalists. I like these guys. They put out a lot of good stuff. People don't know what SHA-256 is. And so that's the algorithm behind Bitcoin's encryption. Mm-hmm. Now, SHA-256 was actually created and designed by the NSA. So, and not to mention, like you said earlier, Bitcoin was created in 2009, right after the 2008 crisis. Yep. So there's just so much data that is out there, if you get your hands on it and find it, that kind of indicate that Bitcoin is a government operation. And just as you said, it is to transition society into adopting and conditioning them to be to get used to digital currencies. There's no question it's created by the government. Now let me show you something else interesting. As I said, you've seen the video. Here it is down here. Wheezy's the one that originally put it out. You've seen the video of Homeland Security acknowledging that they met with the 4 Satoshis. What you may not know is that the people in the room, this is the original video. It was regulating cryptocurrencies and ICOs, security, commodity, or currency. It actually happened on April 29th, 2019. That's under Jay Clayton. Look who was there. This is the woman, Rana Saud, Assistant Special Agent in Charge of Homeland Security. She's the one that said that they met with the 4 Satoshis. This is who she was there with. Martin Zerwitz, Senior Counsel, Division of Enforcement Cyber Unit at the SEC. He worked for Jay Clayton. What that means, folks, if you need me to add 2 and 2 together for you, is that Jay Clayton, too, knows who's Satoshi Nakamoto. Don't think for a minute that this Martin guy is sitting there with the Homeland Security person, listening to her say they've met with the 4 Satoshis. You think he's not going to say, hey, whoa, wait a minute. We're over at the SEC, we're having to decide whether Bitcoin's a commodity or not. You met with the 4 Satoshis? You're telling me that they already knew, folks. He worked for Jay Clayton, so that means Jay Clayton knows. That means Bill Hinman knows.
But in all seriousness, I think this was the best.
This is what was said about that Martin guy being there when she said it.
Illustration that I could come up with is how cryptocurrency works. This is not going to be a technical explanation. Maybe the guy from SEC, Martin, right? No? You don't want to do a technical explanation of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or the blockchain? I do want to say that both of these folks are government employees, SEC and Homeland Security, so anything that I say certainly does not reflect upon them or their agency, because I want them to keep their jobs and, have wonderful careers. But in all seriousness, what you've got is 2 people here that have a lot of specialized knowledge. I worked with Rana way back in the day in Orlando, and she's promoted and become somebody that's really embedded in the issue of cryptocurrency. Same thing with Martin. He's in a specialized unit with the SEC. And if you were at the earlier panel, one thing that you're going to find is that the government is on this. In all seriousness, I've got lots of contacts that are still with the enforcement agencies. And it's pretty remarkable that the United States government has really been on the cutting edge, in my opinion, for this. Didn't take this laying down. There's some other frauds I think that they probably did that with, but not with this one. So there's a concerted effort by not only the United States, but some of these foreign governments to really address these issues.
So that is the dirty little secret. Not only does the government know, but the SEC knew. The SEC has known. Now think about that for a minute. The SEC, where Gary Gensler is now, the SEC has known who the 4 Satoshis were all this time, while you're being delivered up a load of crap that they don't. They're calling it a commodity, even though they know who the 4 people are. And let me round it out here. This is the guy. This is the guy from the SEC that worked for Jay Clayton while he's at that conference. You're telling me that this guy, oh, he's just going to keep it secret. Yeah, he just heard a Homeland Security agent say that they met with the 4 Satoshis, but he doesn't know anything about it, and he's not going to go tell Jay Clayton about it. You know what makes this even more sick and crazy? What makes it even crazier is that today, Jay Clayton is out saying we should have a Bitcoin spot ETF. Against the backdrop of everything I just showed you, think about this. Think about the scandal that this is. It's even bigger than ETHgate. The fact that they know.
Can they say no to a spot ETF? For how much longer?
Well, it goes to that issue. I think that when the SEC approved the futures-based ETF, they said, let's look at the futures market. We see the surveillance. We see the protections in that market for the end investor that are sufficient. We don't see them in the spot market, so we're going to make that distinction. I think what the institutions are arguing is that those distinctions have gone away, and now the spot product is actually less drag, more efficient for the investor. So if there's not that delta in regulation, not that delta in what I could say efficacy, the spot should be approved. That's the argument that's going on right now. Look, the regulatory process, whether it doesn't matter.
It's been a while already.
It's been a while already. What I would say is this: if they're right, that you can demonstrate that the spot market has similar efficacy to the futures market, it would be hard to resist approving a Bitcoin ETF.
Oh, this is interesting right here from Wheezy. Ex-SEC director says it's reasonable for Judge Torres to lock Ripple's XRP escrow accounts forever. At that point, what happens to the price if the escrow is locked forever? Can it be destroyed? What will happen to Ripple's business model? This brings up a lot of questions, and what he's referring to is this tweet. My dream and unrealistic ruling as an XRP holder, Ripple fine because reading their emails, in my opinion, they deserve it. Majority of escrow handed over to the SEC and locked forever. But moving forward, all circulating XRP is a commodity. Mark Fagel, who was an ex-SEC guy, says sounds reasonable enough. What about that, folks? Look, I do think that this thing ends with, I think it's always been about the escrow, and I do think it ends with them pointing back and saying that certain sales by Ripple or Brad Garlinghouse or Chris Larson were securities, but that the sale, XRP itself and the sales going forward in the secondary market are not securities. So we shall see on the rest. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe at the like button. Tell your friends and family. Go check out XRPLHQ.com. Links in the top of the description. Thanks for listening.